Hi everyone, this is Sukriti and this is our application bank account management system. So our team members are,
Hi, this is Gary.
this is Sukriti, and we're presenting this application, which is bank account management system. So as a part of our research, we actually researched similar applications to what we were trying to make. So we actually researched on Scotiabank, TD Bank, how they work, what kind of services they provide, so that we can actually design our program based on that. Okay. Okay, so I'll explain what our project is basically doing. This is the bank account management system, which is Java application. It actually allows users to manage their bank accounts in simple and convenient manner. So this application actually provides us an option to create a new account for the user, or we can actually use an existing account information. So if there is a new customer, we have there are different ways to actually enter the account, customer information either manually or by importing the CSV files. The other operations that this our application provides us, like deposit, withdrawal, transfer, or view the balance. So moving forward, as we can see, this is our console-based application. So it gives us some operations to perform in the screen, and we can just explain you later when we are showing our application how it works. Then we can show you how the UI. Okay, so moving to the UML diagram, we actually created the use case diagram, sequence diagram, state, and um, these diagrams. And so this is our use case. It actually shows you if you want to add the users, if you want to add it manually, these are the use cases for that. And if we want to add through CSV file, we'll be importing it, the Excel from our desktop. And if you want to perform other operations like display balance, deposit, transfer, or withdraw, here's the state diagram for that. It actually shows us how this works, what's the initial point, and how this application works. This is our sequence diagram. And then then we are moving now to testing part, which is like black box testing and white box testing. So in black box testing, as we know, we're using the equivalence class partitioning. So for class partitioning, I use this valid username, account, selection, and social security number, because while we're adding our users manually, we have to take care of these things. So these are the test cases that that we worked on together. So moving to the next one, this is boundary value analysis. In this part, I actually worked on performing the operations for the customer's bank account. For example, if customer wants to transfer the money, which is between his bank accounts like savings and check-ins, or wants to deposit a certain amount and withdraw a certain amount. So there are some ranges that we have set up, like, customer can deposit, the minimum has to be $1 and the maximum per day has to be 50,000. It cannot exceed that. And for the withdrawal amount range, same, it's like $1 least, and the maximum you can do is 30,000. And for the transfer between the accounts, it is 10,000 per day. So this is our boundary value analysis and the requirements for the test cases here. Then we also worked on pairwise testing. This was also based on performing account operations, but so a little bit more complex. Like account number should be 9-digit, which represent it's valid or invalid, and then operations that we're performing with our applications, which can be either withdraw, transfer, deposit. So and other, the value that I used was the amount what we are actually trying to withdraw, transfer, deposit, and what kind of account we're using, either check-ins or savings. So this is the white box testing, and Gary will actually explain moving forward.
Hi. So for white box testing, the first case is condition coverage. So as you can see in this JUnit test case, we are creating so the So in this test to withdrawal method, we are testing that if somebody has $500 and they try to withdraw $1,000, so our program is supposed to give an error and send out an exception, so this is an example of white box testing because we have designed the test case in such a way that it is supposed to fail and throw an error, so that at the same time it's throwing an exception. So and we are and the assert value is going to check that exception. The next for white box testing is FSM. As you can see, these are the different states in which the program will go through as the user will work through our application. I can explain these states when we are showing the actual demo of the application. So for JUnit, we are using version 5, so we are doing JUnit 5 test. The first for JUnit is we are testing the assert equals method. As you can see in this class, we have created different assert equals, which is testing different functionalities. For example, in the test add users manually method, we are testing if users can be added manually. And as you can see, all the test cases pass because the output is equal to the expected value. Similarly, we have created multiple data inputs to parameters annotation. We are passing multiple data in our method and trying to create different check-in accounts in this method. And as you can see, these test cases will pass because these accounts will be created, and I'm checking it through assert equals method, checking the actual name which was entered by the user is equal to the name which is actually stored in the application. Similarly, for the social security number and the initial deposit. The other class is the exception handling case. In this test case, we are handling the exceptions. As you can see, if the withdrawal amount is more than the actual balance of the user account, then it will be throwing out exceptions. Similarly, if somebody is trying to transfer more amount than they actually have the balance, it will throw out an exception, and you can see the test cases pass. The other JUnit test case we used was parameterized test cases through CSV source and CSV file source. So if in our application there is an option that the user can import the accounts using a CSV file. So we have to create this new accounts.csv file, and this should be setting under the resources. And you can see that I have given it the CSV file source as in the resource value. I have given the name of the file, and the system will be expecting this as a system, as a user input. As soon as the user gives the right name and the file is found, it should the assert equals is gonna pass, and the user accounts will be created. You can see on the left side, all these user accounts, they were in the CSV file. They were automatically generated because we gave the resource as the new accounts.csv, which had all the document, which had all the information of these user accounts. And I will quickly show you the UI of our application, what are the application actually gonna look like. So it's a console-based application. We have created we have created a jar file for that. So it's an executable jar file. As soon as somebody runs it, this is a home screen, which is going to welcome you. And then the user has 5 options, and whenever they press 0, it's going to exit out. I'm going to quickly go through that, what it actually does. So let's say if somebody wants to, if the bank teller wants to add the accounts from the file, I will just press 1, and it's going to ask me the file name. And since I've given the path as the desktop, so these are the 2 CSV files. Let's say if I give it new accounts, as you can see, it's going to import all the users and store it in the database and print out the information. It will say the name, it will generate an automated account number, initial balance, which is, I can quickly even show you the CSV file. Yeah. So the first value is the name. Then we are passing the social security number, then the account type and the initial amount. So this account number is automatically generated by our system. So if it's a saving account, it starts with 2, and if it's a checking account, it starts with 1. And the rates are depending on if it's a checking or a saving account, and they have different properties. So for example, the saving account will be getting a deposit box ID and a deposit key, whereas the checking account will be getting a debit card number and the PIN. So once the users are exported in the system, when for example, our application is based for bank users. So after they have imported all the users, they can check out different things for their account holders. Let's say they want to check the account balance, they can press 3. It's going to ask for the account number. I'm going to just quickly write any number which is not a valid account number. It's going to throw me an error that account not found, and it will ask me to give me a choice again. And if I put a valid account number, so let's say I go for this account number. It's going to print me the information that the account number was this was the name of your user, this is their actual account number, this is the balance, this is the rate of interest they are running on the account, the type of account, the box ID and the key. And they are brought back to the main menu. So in the main menu, they can further perform all the other operations. Let's say if they want to add the users manually rather than doing it through a file, again, just press 2. It's going to ask what would you like to, it's going to ask what type of account will it be. Let's say if I put checking, it's going to ask me for the name. So I put Gary, and the social security number has to be a 9-digit number. And then it's going to ask me for the amount. After I press enter, it's going to print me the summary. As you can see, it printed the summary. It generated an account starting with number 2 because it was a checking account. And these are, because it's a checking account, it has a debit card number and a PIN number. And once an operation is done, the users are brought back to the main screen. So they can perform other actions. And the other functionality is that, let's say if they want to make a deposit, they can just press 4. And let's consider my account number as a test. And If I put a valid account number, it's gonna ask me for the deposit amount. Let's say I put 500. It's gonna print the information that it has deposited 500, and my now balance is 1,500 because the initial amount was 1,500. And the deposit is successful. The other actions that can be performed is, so let's say if I press 5, it's going to ask me for the account number again. If I put a valid account number, these are the actions that can be performed on the account. It can print me the information. I can deposit funds, withdraw funds, transfer funds, and exit the operations. Let's say I press 4 to transfer funds. Let's say if I transfer $100 and transfer from to checking to saving, it's going to say that it's transferring $100 to savings, and my balance now is 1,400. This can be verified from our main operation too. So let's say if I print, because it's the same object, so if I just test it out, then display account number, it's gonna give me 1,400 now because the withdrawal of $100 was done. The other operations that can be performed are transfer, deposit, and information print. And whenever they want to exit, they can exit pressing 0. So if they're exiting, they were exited from the operation side and they're brought back to the main menu, and they can exit the main menu through 0 too. So that's all. Thank you.